already late, no? Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine. Chant everybody. Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya. Bring the chant up in your mouth.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa namine.
Haribol.
Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestaya.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Narayana, Shri Krishna
Chaitanya, sing out.
Radha Krishna Narayana.
What is Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Satya Bhakta Vrinda.
What is Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shiva Satya
Haribol, Haribol, everybody sing. Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Haribol Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana,
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana. Hey!
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Madana
Haribol, Haribol.
Gopala Govinda
Haribol.
Madana
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana. Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana, Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Krishna,
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Krishna,
Madana Mohana.
Gopala Govinda Rama,
Haribol, Haribol, Nitay Gaur, Haribol, Haribol.
Gopala Govinda Rama, Madana Mohana,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gauranga.
Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gauranga,
Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Shila Prabhupada,
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda, Ananda Paramahamsa.
Krishna,
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda,
Krishna,
Ananda Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda,
Haribol, Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Jai Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namite, Gora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Ora Karuna Swarupaya, Radha Krishna Prestayate.
Haribol, Jai Jai Nitay Gaur, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Okay, Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prastate Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shadvaita Garadha Shibasati Go Bhakta Brindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Haribol Namaste. Yesterday I have to recap what we did discuss, okay? We discussed yesterday about the living entity, all of you here, spirit soul, trying to dominate material nature. You're trying to imitate Krishna. You wanted to, all of us wanted to experience this pleasure of playing surrogate father, surrogate mother, surrogate child. What is that all about? you're the center of the universe. You want to squeeze happiness, to experience happiness. And this is perverted because there's only one person who can satisfy all of you, all of us. It's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the all-attractive Supreme Person, sweet Krishna, Govinda, okay? So the more you engage in the process of purification, because in Kali Yuga, the process is the sound incarnation of God. That's what we discussed yesterday. And the sound incarnation of God comes from the lips of His pure, loving servant, His confidential friend. So to be able to enter in that world, which is transcendental, the sound that we should be hearing must not be touched by the three modes of material nature. It's beyond. It's called Vaikuntha. Because this material world is a place of misery. And when we speak of Vaikuntha, it is the spiritual world, the eternal, unlimited spiritual world wherein Lord Krishna, the all-attractive Supreme Person, Govinda, Hirishikesh, Madana, Mohana, Murari, enjoys his pastimes. So he expands himself into innumerable form and relates to everyone. Okay? So that's the problem we have in this world. We are limited. Okay? And we want to imitate God. That's a problem. You want to experience, to be the center. Okay? That's a problem. Okay? So I'll read to you here our situation so you can understand. Okay? And I also like to tell you something that should be very clear to all of you. Okay? When you speak about that, oh, he's a devotee of Krishna. He's a devotee. Okay? One time, one of my god sister was telling about the association of devotees. Okay? So what is a devotee then? Is it the group? It is the congregation? A devotee is someone who has unconditional love for Lord Krishna. He is the maidservant of Radha and Krishna. Okay? So here, all of us here, we are conditioned living entity. Conditioned. So we're practicing the science of devotional service, engaging in a process that will purify us. So we can come to understand our true transcendental relationship with Krishna. And that is best understood from someone who's loving Krishna, the spiritual master, who is a resident of the spiritual world. So when we speak about devotees, we talk and discuss about the eternal pastimes of the Supreme Person, his devotees, okay? Pure, loving servant. So sometimes, oftenly, what happens is that most people, individuals who wants to experience relief from this suffering, comes in contact with the process, parampara, and by nature, the living entity, all of us, we are joyful. We want to experience friendship with someone. But the problem is our conditioning. And what is that conditioning? The three modes of material nature are influenced by goodness, okay? By passion and ignorance. Material conditioning. And not only that, the false ego, whom we are so covered and identifying, we see matter. You don't see the spirit soul. Okay? Okay, when you come in contact with the congregation of individuals who are trying hard, making effort to engage in the process of Sankirtanyajna, it's like when you go to the hospital, you don't see, you go to the hospital, what do you see? You went to the hospital, who's this guy? All his legs is almost cut off because of, it nearly come to gangrene, and yes, what's this? Tetanus, okay? It's swelling and a lot of pus, bacteria eating his flesh, okay? He goes to the hospital, okay? When he goes to the hospital, he sees a lot of people there. There are people there lying down, and you can see there's nurses there trying to assist them. Diagnose, the doctor sitting down, okay? Diagnosis, trying to, what's your problem, okay? And he sees that person, oh, your leg is nearly So it's decaying. You know what's decaying? Your legs is rotting. When it's rotting, it's smelly. Pus are coming in. Bacteria. Maybe there's some worms coming out of your wound. And the flies get so attracted. You know what's flies? Immediately when the doctor opens up, the flies comes in and then lick your wound. The pus. Okay. So when you're there, you begin to see, he has TB, he has COVID, he has gangrene. Everybody's sick in the hospital, okay? Then you begin to see, wow, I don't want to stay here. Then instead of going to the doctor, you relate to the people around there. And how do you relate to them? With your senses. You bring your body, this kingdom, in that place, the hospital, and then you relate to all those people who are sick. Okay? Who wanted to get well? Okay? That's the reason they went there. Because if you're sick, go to the hospital. Why? Because the doctor is there who can save you. But that's a relative idea or truth, because the hospital is where most of the people die. You understand? That's why when you go to that hospital, there's 3 ambulances there, and there's the funeral parlor outside, and there's the mortuary where they embalm the body, okay? They put the dead body there. So you go there, I don't like this place, okay? The material world. So when you come in contact with the devotees, especially those who are guided by the spiritual master, and they have this program so you can engage in the process, okay? To be purified, meaning you engage in austerities. Like for example, you're under the influence of modes of ignorance. You just like to sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep, okay? Diba? Then you go to this training, and early morning you have to wake up. So it means the conditioning of ignorance, when you're sleeping, and then the influence of the 3 modes of material nature, especially ignorance, you have to wake up. Tang, 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 wake up. Even though you don't like. But actually, it's not you who don't like it. It is your conditioning. Okay? The more you become purified, the more the more the living entity becomes aware where to find happiness and fulfillment. So the process wherein you come in contact with this training program is that they have this sadhana bhakti process, devotional service in practice. You have to wake up in the morning, you have to chant your rounds, you have to take your bath. Take a bath. Wow, it's cold. And the mind will tell you, no. Okay? You now because prior to coming to this program, you just live a life of abandonment. Meaning, whatever comes, that's it. If you're in ignorance, just sleep and sleep. You just stand up because you want to poo-poo or wee-wee by force. No? Because you don't wee-wee on your pants. You're not a bat. No? You know what's a bat? Bat boy. How do the bat sleep? Upside down, di ba? Their head is down, di ba? And when they wee-wee, what happened? They take a bath with their wee-wee, okay? But if you're so conditioned, wow, I don't like this, okay? When you come in contact with the spiritual master, he speaks the truth. He tells you the truth and to guide you. And then you begin to experience this purification about who you are. Then you're motivated because it gives you life, okay? But the problem is when you are so much conditioned by material nature, and then you're given a process to become free. For example, you're sick, you're given medication by the doctor. For example, you're sick, you're given medication by the doctor. You don't take it, you don't get well. For example, this guy, we tell him, hey, go to the doctor. No, I'll just scratch my wound. Then after a while, what happened? He's afraid. What is he afraid? He tells you, you said, I'm gonna die. But the main thing is that, hey, your legs will be cut off. And then what does he feel? I'd rather die than my legs get cut off. You see how you're so attached to the body? Huh? You identify with the body. So it means you're not the legs. If it get cut off, you still exist. Okay? But what is your conditioning? I am this body. If my leg is cut off, what will people, how can I enjoy? Okay? Anyway, Mumar is there or Makling is there. He can make you, what's this, Karang? Crunch. Okay, Okay, we have a wheelchair there. Okay? You can just play wheelchair, But because you're so conditioned to enjoying your senses, your body, and by nature you're active, you need activities. You're engaging in activity, okay? You need to be engaged in activity. But because the conditioning of the activities you're engaging in is not really fulfilling, it's connected with the body, you're miserable. So back to the point, going to the hospital, okay? So what happens is when you come in contact with the association of those who are practicing devotional service or engaging in the process of Sankirtan, the purificatory process, the sound incarnation descending, guided by our spiritual master. Understand? Is it clear to you? And then, it's like when your hands are dirty, you wash it carefully, but still there's some dirt, okay? Just like, this still not really clean, And not only that, you're given medication. Take this medication so you get well, but you don't take the medication seriously. Okay? And you begin to tell, I'll just do what I want. Because what happens when you come in contact with the spiritual master? The point is to be connected with the will of God. To be in a situation wherein you're surrendered to the will of God. To be situated in your transcendental position as eternally the loving servant of God. It means you don't have your will. His will be done. You're like a slave. Not a slave like what you see in the movie of Moses, where the slaves are being beaten. You are completely dependent upon the slave master. Okay? But that slave, there's a bad connotation about slave. Kasi slave, pag sinabi, alipin. Okay? Pinarusahan, magantos. Di ba? No, it's not like that. And another example is to be the puppet under the guidance of the puppet master. Okay? So, the dance before, you are the puppet of Maya. All of us here. Okay? We dance according to the of Maya, the three modes of material nature. But we think, I like what I want. Okay? I do what I want. And when you come in contact with the spiritual master, he tells us, you must become free from material consideration. Ano yung material consideration? Me. My. What I want. My happiness. Okay? So the process of the holy names, the chanting, purifies us and gives us connection with our true eternal position. And when we engage in the process of devotional service, beginning with hearing, chanting, remembering, praying, offering, surrender to the deity, surrendering everything to Krishna, being completely dependent upon Krishna, then we become enthused, engage in that process, then it becomes our life. But in that way, also, you have a freedom. You have this freedom. And when you are not really decisive, you know what's decisive? What's decisive? Kininagyud akong himuon, maunsa man. I'll make a stand to do this, okay? Like for example, you want to serve someone, you want to love someone, you make a stand for your relationship with that person, okay? No matter what. For example, you have a wife, for example, your wife goes to abroad, you make a stand to have your relationship with your wife intact. Alam, intact. It's not that when your wife is gone, let's look for another wife. Okay? You understand? Is it clear to you? So when you come in contact with the spiritual master, you must be chaste. You want chaste? Chaste ba? Have you seen the nuns? Di ba? They practice chastity. The brahmacharis, they practice chastity also. They don't engage in illicit affairs. But it's very hard when you are not in association with the science of Bhakti Yoga. Because your senses will be driving you crazy. Because the mind will have a great influence upon you. Because the mind, the desires are there. Okay, it's hard when you're not engaged in the service of Krishna. Because you'll be spaced out. You know what's spaced out? You're just standing there, driven by the mind. Mindless idiot. You know what's mindless idiot? Moron ba? Is it clear to you? You're just there. There's chanting, but you're just standing. You're out. Space out. Kita niya? So when you go to the hospital, everybody's sick there. You relate to the doctor. It's not that, oh, he has TB. She has COVID. I don't want to stay here, okay? Why? Because you're relating to individuals who are diseased. And the more you relate with individuals who are in the disease condition, you get contaminated. Because they're under the three modes of material nature. Okay? So if the person is, let's not use a word that's really bad, okay? Is a jackass na lang. You know what's a jackass? He's arrogant, he's cruel, he's mean, and then you make friends with him, shake hand. I want to be your friend. Pag shake hand na niya, okay? When you turn back, he has this pin. Okay? Then you begin to say, how come there's no love here? Why? How come there's no love here? I think every time I read about scripture, about the pastimes of the devotees, it's so much about compassion, care, and love transcendental. How come I'm not experiencing it here? I don't like it here. Okay? Then you blame everybody else. But in the first place, you go to the hospital because you're sick. You go to the doctor and he gives you prescription. You don't take it. Instead of relating to the doctor how you get well, you relate to all those diseased individuals. And misery loves company, okay? It comes with being idle. You know what's idle? Walang gihimo ba? Nakatunga nga lang. Idle is a devil's workshop. Because when you're idle, you're standing there, the desires will be there. And then you go crazy. Because you're not all powerful. And the desires in your mind, do this, do that, do this, do that. And then you're limited. Kaya you're miserable. You're a miserable jackass. Is it clear sa inyo? So don't ever blame the process. You check your attitude, how you relate. And the main thing there is this. When you come in contact with the spiritual master, he gives you instruction to be faithful. So Lord Chaitanya, when he came in contact with Isvara Puri, the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya, the disciple of Madhavendra Puri, okay, he was given the instruction to chant the holy names, okay? Chant the holy names, okay? That's all. Forget about everything, just chant the holy names, okay? Meaning you must be trusting, you must have this faith, and then you just focus upon the instruction. Okay? So what happens is when you're given that instruction, you're not faithful. Okay? Why? Because you have your own will. So you come and approach a spiritual master and you're given the opportunity to become a disciple or even a student disciple, meaning you're putting yourself to be disciplined. Understand? That my will not be done, but Krishna's will, because you love Krishna and I don't know how to serve and love Krishna. Guide me, okay? Check me, correct me. It's not when the spiritual master tells you, "Oi, stop talking nonsense, don't do that, you get angry. He's correcting you because when you're in that situation, you must be very happy because Krishna is giving you the opportunity to be corrected, to be checked, to be directed in the right direction, to be close with Krishna. Understand? And when you have this attitude of respect and gratefulness to your spiritual master, Krishna's pleased. Okay? You don't waste the time of the spiritual master. Okay? You don't go, Srila Prabhupada, I have this problem. Okay? my wife left me. Then I like to have another wife. Okay? Is it okay? Then you go on and on. Your wife leaves you again. Srila Prabhupada, I'm miserable. Okay? And then you come in contact. One of when our spiritual master was speaking in a congregation, somebody stood up and said, Srila Prabhupada and the Jagad Guru Siddhaswarup, I want my son to become a devotee, okay? He wants his son to become a devotee. But his idea, I don't know what his idea of a devotee. And Srila Prabhupada told him, you must be the first one to become a devotee. Okay? Not your son. And what will you do? Okay? You want your son to be a devotee? To have this convenience according to your mental speculation of what is favorable or amiable, but you do other things? You steal the master? Okay? So don't grumble. Okay? You're given, for example, you're given this opportunity. The spiritual master tells you, walk straight in that direction because the door is there so you can get out of this miserable world. Okay? But while walking there are many side roads, crossing. But don't ever turn left, turn right, just walk straight. Okay? The spiritual master gives you the time. His effort, his care and love. When you walk there, what do? You follow your mind because of the conditioning of lordship, of trying to enjoy, do your will. So when you're walking straight, what happens is that you turn left. You turn left and then it's a nightmare, you know. When you turn left, you get lost. You experience disconnection from the source of happiness, Krsna, and you're miserable. And then how do you look at the people? You look at the people. Oh, devotees. How come they don't have love? This place is miserable. Okay? Then what will you do? I was a devotee for 50 years. Chanting, working my ass out, you know, serving the community, associating with so many people who are devotees. But there's no love. It's all hate. They're cruel, mean, and miserable. Okay? Then you leave. Then there ka, drinking, enjoying your senses. Okay? You got it made. I was once a devotee. Intindihan niya? So my spiritual master, back to the point I'm trying to discuss. My spiritual master, one of the disciples said, Srila Prabhupada, in the association of devotees, and Srila Prabhupada, what association of devotees? What do you mean by a devotee? Yeah, you understand? What is a devotee? A devotee is someone who has pure unconditional love for Krishna. He has a loving relationship with Lord Krishna. Just like the resident of Vrindavan. Like our instructing spiritual master, Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Look at that picture, okay? Sanatan Goswami, impressed by Lord Chaitanya. So why do you pray to Lord Chaitanya? Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya. Who is Lord Chaitanya? Nitai Gaur. Lord Chaitanya is the embodiment of Radha and Krishna. Coming, that's why his complexion is golden. And when he comes to this world, all his associates comes. Okay? Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami embracing, they're all pure loving servant of Krishna in the mood of Radha and Krishna. Understand? So don't ever think na, association with devotee. I was with a devotee for sometimes, you know, the training is so hard, they're cruel, they're mean. I hate them. Okay? Because we did not follow the first instruction of Lord Krishna. And then we are given the opportunity, the blessing, okay? But what do? We just throw it away, okay? Why does it happen? Because our relationship of devotional loving service is not that strong. That's why we must advance from Kanista Adhikari. What is Kanista Adhikari? Neophyte devotee. First stage. You just see God in the temple. You just see Krishna with chanting like that. But when you leave this place, you forget it. And that is manifested what comes out of your mouth. Okay? Activities you do. We must make progress to be mature. At least to come to the stage of the second stage. Okay? To be able to see Krishna. To be able to see the spiritual master. To hear the Lord within the heart. To see the innocent. And those who are envious. And then instead of focusing upon people's imperfection, we should be focusing how we fall far short in our relationship with God. You ask yourself, am I having a close relationship with my spiritual master? So what is the secret in spiritual life, an open secret, to be very close with Krishna? Number one, you must be chanting the holy names, because that is the process to protect us. The sound incarnation Krishna coming, purifying our heart and mind through the devotee who is our eternal friend, the Paramatma, your eternal friend. You have forgotten him. We have forgotten him. And he comes. Then the more you chant, you engage in the process of given by Parampara, you enter in the world that is different from this temporary moving world. You understand? I like this guy, sitting down. He's sitting down, okay lang, kasi he's just there. Yung may niya, it's like a wall ba? I'm talking to you, but the sound doesn't penetrate. Why? Kasi the modes are there ba? Different degrees, okay? Ignorance, passion, and then the desire are there, Okay? Okay? It means you're stupid. Okay? You're a fool. Okay? So you can understand? Is it clear sa inyo? So we must come to the point of having a very close relationship with Krishna by having a close relationship with the spiritual master. That is our protection, because that relationship, even though our spiritual master is very far, that is the lotus feet of our spiritual master. It's a connection with your heart, with your life. Because the spiritual master is God the servant, inseparable from Lord Krishna. And the word of the spiritual master is engaging in devotional, loving service unalloyed. And then you engage in connection with this life. You enter that world that is transcendental. Not touched by this world. Lahat ng conditioning. Okay? Anong conditioning na? Oh, you're so conditioned, no? If you can take off the hair, take off the skin. You hold your brain. Okay? It's gross. But you're not the face. You're not the skull. You're the person. But you identify with the source of suffering. That's why I tell him, your legs will be cut off. He said, I'd rather die. Understand? You see, Maya is very strong. It's not that, I'm chanting, I'm devotee, I associate with the devotee, I have this training. No. A spiritual life that has been passed on by Lord Krishna to us is a sustainable, transcendental experience when we receive it humbly, faithfully, and have a relationship with our Gurudev, Jagad Guru Siddhaswarup, in loving relationship, in surrender. And how do you surrender to the spiritual master? By following his instruction. Okay? He tells you chant the holy names and engage in a process wherein you will be fixed to be able to enter that world of devotional service. Okay? Is it clear sa inyo? So don't ever think, and then the spiritual master tells the disciple, what do you mean by association with the community? Alam yung community? I was with the community of devotees. Everybody there is practicing, engaging in devotional service. But when we speak of devotees, we're speaking about someone who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. Okay? A resident of the spiritual world. So how can you see a devotee? We must become devotees, okay? And what is a devotee? Someone who is completely surrendered, has given up his will to follow the will of his spiritual master. Just like Lord Chaitanya approaching his Varapuri. So, can I love Krishna? Yes. Can I see Krishna? Yes. Because all what we have to do is receive the process and apply it in our life. Is it clear sa inyo? Intindihan nyo? So, meaning, after understanding this, you can understand that spiritual activities is an eternal activity, transcendental, and devotional service is sustainable. It's not a place. It's not association of the community. It's okay to associate with devotees having sankirtan. But you as an individual, your life, our life, should be a sustainable relationship in doing the will of God. My will not be done. Your will be done. I have no more will of my own. It's hard because you've been identifying with the mind for so long. This false ego of lordship. Again. Intindihan niya? Is it clear sa inyo? So meaning, all I got to do is take shelter of Krishna and I'll succeed. Krishna will protect me. And then you experience closeness to Krishna. So Lord Krishna tells us, one must search out a bona fide spiritual master. Okay? Surrender unto him. Follow his instruction. Render service to him. Inquire submissively to him. From him. Okay? From him. Because the spiritual master is the seer of the truth. He can let you see the truth. And when you associate and follow his instruction, it is non-different from the will of God. Okay? And then Lord Krishna tells us, to those who are constantly devoted unto me, I give them the understanding by which they can come to me. Whom should we be devoted? To our spiritual master, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. That's why Saint Prabhupada telling us, one must find someone who has no material conditioning. Okay? So when we come to the congregation of individuals in this material world, chanting, everybody is conditioned. What is conditioned? They think they're the body. They think they're the mind. Okay? They play surrogate God. They're the center. But because they have come to the point of coming in contact with God's blessing and mercy, and they have this decision, I want to have a change of heart. I want to become close to Krishna. So that's their individual problem. It's not your problem, okay? So you don't relate to so many people who are diseased, okay? You only give your life to God. Okay? Only to God. And who's that person? God the servant, our spiritual master, who's non-different from God. So if you follow someone because of personality cult, what's personality cult? Okay? Because you have, this person has a title, a brahmana, a disciple, okay? He may be or she may be a pure lover of Krishna. But since we have a spiritual master coming from Parampara, you just focus upon following the instruction of your spiritual master. So back to the point, what happened? This person, the spiritual master tells him, walk straight, don't turn right, don't turn left, and focus. And then what does she do? She turns left. She gets lost. And then after getting lost, what happened? Okay? You have wasted your time. You're not filial. You're not grateful. You're not able to take that love because you are desire-driven. But you want to experience relief. Alam yung relief? To be relieved from suffering. Okay? But because your conditioning is based upon this body, this field of activity, what you did was you became servant of Maya. Okay? You want to dominate material nature. To do your own will. You have your own will. But because you're not self-sufficient, you're not all-powerful, instead of following the will of God, you turn left and get lost in this material world. Then after that, you blame everybody else. I was once a devotee. What's devotee? I was once a member of this congregation. They're so mean and cruel. I send my kids to the training and they're cruel and mean and my kid becomes exploited and they hate the devotees. What is that? That's nonsense. Maya is very strong, Who protects you? Krishna. So Krishna tells us, to those who worship the demigods, they go to the demigods. Those who worship the egos, the spirit, they go there. Those who surrender unto me, they come to me. Okay? You have that choice. So whom will you follow? The desire, Maya, or your heart? Someone who loves you. Okay? Our eternal friend has unconditional love for us, the Lord from the inside, Paramatma. Okay? The expansion of Krishna. And the Paramatma appears to us, our spiritual master. So the spiritual master is the embodiment of God's love. Okay? So if you don't take this opportunity, you misuse it, you're not really serious, you neglect it, it's not valuable to you, then how can you have a relationship with Krishna? Okay? Okay? If you don't value the relationship with someone whom you love so much, he knows your heart, then definitely, what will you be doing? You'll be following Maya. You'll be doing your own will. And that is not your eternal transcendental position as eternally the loving servant of God. Because by nature, we'll always be serving. We'll always be depending. But now what happens is you become dependent upon Maya because you wanted to do your own will. But you're not all-powerful. So you get encumbered in this world. You get lost. You get trampled. And then what happened? What happened? What happened? You blame everybody else. But look back how it started that you got lost. Before you're lost, you come in contact with the science. You see clarity. Oh, there's a way out of this miserable world. There's a way out where I can be getting out of this desert. When I chant, it's so nice, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. But when you're under the influence of ignorance, sleeping during the night, working hard in the service of Krishna, and then the mind tells you, go to sleep. Krishna does it, just sleep, 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 sleep. Then wake up, tang, 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 tang. Just go to sleep. Into oblivion. Forget everything, okay? So the devotee, the real Vaishnava, he never forgets. He's always aware. What is forgetfulness all about? Ignorance. Okay? So you come in contact with association of devotees. Okay? The community, my shelter. But they're all cruel. Okay? We chant. I offer you my respect, sister, but you're cruel, you're bad. I don't like you. And everybody, she's bad. They have these cliques, enemy, enemy, enemy. The influence of Kali Yuga. Become free. Become a sage. By becoming a Goswami. You must control the urge of the mind, the urge of the belly and the genital. You must become the witness and connect your heart, your life, to the instruction of the spiritual master. 24/7. What? I just want to associate with devotees for an hour, then I'm gonna do what I want. You know? What do you want? Enjoy my senses. Okay? Do my will. Have friends with the wolves. You know? Okay? Embrace dead bodies. You know? Is it clear sa inyo? Your life is in your hands. And you're given this opportunity to give your life to Krishna, which belongs to Krishna, to be resituated in your eternal transcendental position as eternally the loving servant of Krishna. So Krishna tells us, the three modes of material nature is insurmountable. Hindi nyo kaya. It's like an ocean, you're drowning. But those who are surrendered to me and engaged in my devotional service, they overcome this. And what is the description? This ocean where we're drowning becomes like a water in a hoop grid of a cup. You know what a cup? Baka naggamatoy. Pag ulan, manapak na tubig. Pwede lang nimulaktawan. Okay? O, paano yun? Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So let's chant Haribol. Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Gora Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasaya Jai Gurudev Haribol. Everybody sing loud Haribol Chaitanya Das Krishna Krishna Haribol Haribol Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Everybody be chanting Haribol Haribol Nitai Gaur Haribol Nitai Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nayanya Haribol Nitai Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Shri Vatsate Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Shri Vatsate Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Haribol 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 Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol Krishna Madana Mohana Haribol Krishna Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol Krishna Madana Mohana Haribol Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol Krishna Madana Mohana Haribol Krishna Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol Krishna Madana Mohana Haribol Haribol Everybody sing loud Haribol Haribol Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol Haribol Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol Krishna Madana Mohana Haribol Krishna Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol Krishna Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol 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 Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol Krishna Madana Mohana Haribol Krishna Gopala Govinda Rama Haribol Krishna Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Jaya Jaya Gurudev Haribol Krishna Jaya Jaya Gauranga Haribol Krishna Jaya Jaya Gurudev Haribol Krishna Jaya Jaya Gauranga Jaya Jaya Gurudev Haribol Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Haribol.
Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa.
Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gorakaruna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prestaya Te